Good evening, everybody. Is this working? No, it's not. Is it working? None? I usually have a little bit more of a ring, back feed or whatever than that. But anyways, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll carry on. Good. Welcome to the West Perth Council meeting for Tuesday, February the 17th, day after Family Day. We do have Councillor Fournier joining us this evening on Zoom. And we also have from Economic Development, I think Amy and Meredith Forget are going to join us on Zoom as well. I think Justin is maybe going to be here, is he? Or not? Justin's not going to be here either, so it'll be a Zoom connection for them as well. Okay, just before we get into the business of the meeting, our meeting tonight, let's just take a moment to remember and reflect on the happenings a week ago in the small municipality of British Columbia of Tumbler Ridge and how they are coping with the tragic events that they have endured. We, in recognition of that, we lowered our flags all to half-mast, but in recognition of that. So let us just bow our heads for a moment of silent reflection. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. First item is, I guess, is there any additions to the agenda for this evening? No additions? No deletions. Okay, it is as was sent out. So the first item of business then would be acceptance of the agenda as it was sent out. Do we have a mover and seconder for that? Councillor Duck, Councillor Rose, all those in favor? Opposed, if any, that is carried. Does anybody have a conflict of interest with anything on the agenda? If you find yourself in that position, you can always declare it later on in the meeting. Next item is the consent agenda. We have 5 items, I believe, on the consent agenda. Is there anything there that anybody would like a little more discussion on or pulled and dealt with separately? I don't see any hands going up. So the recommendation that we have is that the Council of Municipality of West Perth accept the consent items 4.1 to 4.4 for information, and the minutes of the February 2nd regular council meeting be adopted. We have a mover and seconder for that, Councillor Feltz, and a seconder, Councillor Harold. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That is carried. So we do have a couple of delegations with us tonight. The first one is from the Economic Development and Tourism from the Perth County. And we do have Amy Arbuckle, I think, and Meredith with us, Meredith Forget on Zoom. So, yep, there we are. Good. So I will turn the meeting over to you and you can give us the update. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you. We do have a presentation. Amy is just going to bring it up here. Perfect. Can everyone see that?
Yep, it's good.
Excellent. So good evening, Mayor Mackenzie and members of council. Thank you for having us here tonight. And today we'll be presenting our 2026 Economic Development and Tourism Program. The focus is simple: strengthen local businesses, support workforce development, enhance investment readiness, and grow our visibility as a place to live, work, and invest. With me today, as Mayor Mackenzie mentioned, we have our new Economic Development Officer, Amy Arbuckle. Not with us today is Justin Diaz. He is our Senior Economic Development Officer and Shannon Landreth, who is currently backfilling the tourism officer's role, while Claire Lenny is on maternity leave until April. Everything we do aligns with our 4 priorities: business retention, expansion and attraction, people and workforce development, destination development and marketing, affordable and alternative housing. This structure keeps our efforts coordinated, measurable, and aligned with Perth County's economic goals. First, let's start with our businesses that are already here. We've rebranded our business retention and expansion program and are calling it Prosper in Perth County. It is more than business visits. It's an integrated engagement strategy that includes ongoing business outreach, business tours, training workshops, networking events, and storytelling through our Planted in Perth County program. We're building relationships intentionally and not waiting for problems to arise. Preliminary results from our annual business retention and expansion survey that we launched in late November and just closed last week. Businesses most frequently requested training and resources on grant and loan programs, marketing, including digital and social media, artificial intelligence, succession planning, workforce development, and business planning. At the same time, we maintain and update a current employment lands inventory and work closely with Invest Ontario to ensure that Perth County is positioned for opportunities. Workforce remains to be a defining economic issue. Many businesses face workforce recruitment and retention challenges, especially skills gaps, lack of qualified applicants, competition for labor, and issues related to housing and transportation. We continue to promote our workforce attraction and retention employer toolkit and supports employers through job fairs and workforce initiatives. We'll be updating our career pathway cards that highlight local opportunities in manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. These tools are distributed to schools and community groups to show youth that we have meaningful careers right here. We're also expanding our Welcome in Communities training to in-person. We already offer it online, but we will be offering it in person this year. This is another opportunity to help strengthen employers' inclusion practices. Through our People of Perth County youth profiles, we're highlighting real local success stories in hopes to build community pride and inspire long-term workforce stability. We recognize that housing is an economic development issue and will continue to promote creative workforce housing solutions because without housing options, recruitment efforts fall short. Tourism is both an economic driver and identity builder for Perth County. In 2026, we'll continue our multimedia campaigns targeting broader audience, including the GTA. We're increasing our tourism brochure distribution, and we're growing our Discover More Flavor program. We're expanding our We're expanding our farm gate map to a broader flavor map, now featuring over 100 businesses and operators, including the Bakery Trail and our Signature Experience participants. We continue refining our signature experiences to help curate high-quality tourism offerings supported by professional media, training, and advertising. A new project for 2026 we're very excited about is our Frame and Find wayfinding signage project. This project has 2 phases. The first phase is called Frame, and it is entirely focused on planning and consistency. In the very near future, we will be launching our RFP to hire a consultant to develop a countywide signage program. This part of the process will include design guidelines, colors, fonts, materials, accessibility standards, along with a location plan that identifies where signage makes sense and where it doesn't. This ensures that future signage is coordinated, professional, and does not conflict with municipal signage programs. The second phase is Find. This involves a prioritized rollout of wayfinding signage at high-impact locations to guide visitors to rural downtowns, businesses, attractions, and existing installations. The Frame and Find project does not replace or override municipal signage. It does not duplicate existing programs, and it does not take the decision-making away from our local municipalities or BIAs. This project is geared to strengthen a countywide brand consistency while respecting municipal autonomy. Navigation shapes a visitor's experience, and experience drives return visits. None of this happens in isolation. Our team remains active in Chamber of Commerce, BIAs, provincial association, industry groups, and regional tourism partnerships. These relationships extend Perth County's reach and ensure we are aligned with broader economic strategies. We'll also continue regular newsletters and direct business communications to maintain transparency and accountability to our member municipalities, businesses, and community members. In 2026, our work is proactive and strategic. We are strengthening local businesses, supporting workforce resilience, competing for global investments, expanding tourism visibility, improving wayfinding and community identity. Economic development is not a single initiative, it's a system. And our focus this year is to strengthen that system so Perth County remains competitive, resilient, and positioned for long-term growth. Thank you for having us here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions should you have any.
Okay, thank you, Meredith. Any questions for Meredith with regards to her presentation? Councillor Vink?
Mayor McKenzie, if I may, could I, through you, ask about maybe in promoting industrial lands? Would that be appropriate kind of discussion? So I'm just wondering, would that fall in your category? And then what is the work that you are doing in promotion of industrial lands in Perth County?
Well, I was excellent. Thank you. Through you, Mayor McKenzie. We have quite a strategic partnership with the Southwestern Ontario Marketing Alliance. So we do all of our foreign direct investment through that program. We receive funding through the CAN Export program, and that is to help cover costs of travel, trade shows, and promoting any and all available lands that we have. I was hoping to show it tonight, but we're just not quite ready there. But we have a Heron Park promotional video promoting your available lands in the Heron Business Park. So that's very exciting that we will be launching in the very near future. We also work quite closely with the Society of Industrial and Office Realtors, and Invest Ontario is a great partner and a resource for us that we stay in constant contact. So in the back end of their website, when Minister Fedeli and any staff from their office are heading overseas to any sort of trade show or meeting with any potential investor, they have our listings ready and available for when they are promoting the many opportunities that are in the province of Ontario.
So does that mean, Meredith, that we're going to welcome you back to another meeting to launch this video that you have?
Absolutely.
Good.
It's actually Dan's baby, but I'll take credit for it.
Okay, good. Councillor Fournier.
Yes, indeed. Just had a quick question about page 6 out of 10. It's the workforce housing initiatives. I understand the fact that we want to put more industry, more employment, more everything into Perth County. But working at FATIS as I do, I'm within eyeshot of another business where it seems that perhaps 7 to 10% of the people that work there actually live anywhere near Perth County. And that is precisely because the workforce housing is not available in this area. No, I know there are some workforce housing initiatives involving things like building bunk houses on local farms so that they have farm workers available. But there doesn't seem to be any of the same sort of attention available or being given to very simple factory jobs that we already have in Mitchell. I'm not sure of the percentage, obviously, but most of the people that I work with do not live in Perth County. A vast majority of the people that my wife works with do not live in Perth County, simply because there isn't a place for them to live here. I'd very much like to see any sort of news from Perth County on what they are doing on this issue. I know that we are trying on our own end, and I'd like to know in specific what they are doing. Specifically the promote the development of secondary units, because I've been trying to get more attention to having a local concierge service available so that our own local landowners can add to the market value of the properties, specifically by adding secondary units. So I'm very sorry if it's a bit of a complicated question, but if you could try to answer a scatterbrained question, please.
Go ahead, Meredith.
Thank you for the question through you, Mayor Mackenzie, to Council Fournier. Yes, housing is definitely an economic issue. We have what is called a workforce attraction, retention, and employer toolkit. And it is a platform on our website. We received provincial funding, and this was in partnership with Invest Stratford. And on that website, we have a number of different initiatives and best practices that are already in play, that businesses have already implemented within their organizations. And then also part of that that platform actions on how to implement them and modify them to meet of our employers' needs. So, for example, there's an engineering firm in Collingwood, Ontario, that offers employees first-time buyers a loan to purchase a home. And so on our with permission from that company, on our website, on our platform, businesses do have to sign up for it. It is free for all businesses, but it gives the employer all of the information that they need to implement that type of program. So what insurance is required, what kind of employment contracts between the employer and the employee, and what that program and what the contract looks like for implementation. So there's a number of different initiatives that employers from across the country are implementing within their workforce. We have an employer in Listowel that purchased a house for co-op students. So when university co-op students are they're looking to recruit co-op students from universities and colleges from across the province, there's a company in Listowel that has a house for them. And so that is also included on our website and the platform, and all of the, hurdles that they went through, all of the struggles, and all of the successes that they have had are included on that. So that, and it has all of the insurance information that's required for the employer. Any modifications that they've made, we keep it current and up to date. So as we get more information, we just keep populating that website, and that is available to all employers free of charge. They do need to log in though. So they just have to email our office, and we will set them up with a login information.
Okay, thanks, Meredith. Any other questions? No? Okay, I don't see any other hands up. So Andrew's hand is up, but I'm assuming that that's up from before. So, yep. Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much, Meredith. And yeah. Well, maybe he does have a question, does he? Do you have another question, Andrew?
I do, just very briefly, if you don't mind.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. On page 9 of 10, it said that they were still taking requests regarding the PC Connect service. What exactly does that mean? That you're still open to people asking that we bring it back? What does that mean?
Excellent question. So no, that is actually for our member municipalities. For example, when Dan is looking for data for your transit program, we have been providing that data to our member municipalities and to the City of Stratford and St. Mary's from the data that we collected when we were running the PC Connect route.
Thank you. Perfect answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Last call for questions then. Okay. Thank you very much, Meredith and Amy. Appreciate you coming. I look forward for you coming back again with the video. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Okay, our second delegation is also from the county. We have with us Chris Kaiser. He is the Deputy Chief of Program Development for the Emergency Management Program. Chris, I'm never up to speed, but I think you live in Mitchell, yeah? Yes, so he's just over here. That's what I thought. So anyways, the floor is yours, Chris. Take her away.
Through you, Mayor Mackenzie, members of council. West Perth staff, other delegates, thank you for having me tonight. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Chris Keyser. I've been working with the county for over 20 years and I currently hold the position of Deputy Chief of Paramedic Services. Earlier last year, I took on the appointment of Community Emergency Manager, and that is for your regional program, and I work closely with your staff. So I've submitted a report. I won't read through it for you. You guys can read that on your own. It gives you a summary of what our activities were last year and what we were able to achieve. I call it my foundational year, as I got certified to be a provincial community emergency manager and then started to look at our program and create a good solid foundation for it. There's a lot of things that I was proud of. As fortunately, but unfortunately, I guess I had a chance to work with your staff quite often last year. We had a couple of incidents that required some attention, the downburst as well as the H5N1. And you should commend your staff, one for their response and for their ability to be able to shift and pivot and learn things. Really good group of people to work with. Put a little shout out in there for you. And Dan always calls me, usually in the morning while we're getting our kids ready for the bus, and says, "Hey, we got something going on." I'm like, "I'll be over in the morning." It's good. But yeah, so a couple of things. We did rebuild quite a bit of stuff. We offered some solidification to the foundation of the program, created some standing items that we can make sure we have a schedule for and everybody can attend. One of the things that we did this year was we stepped a little bit out of the box and relooked at our hazard identification risk assessment and moved cybersecurity up. Is it something that we have to deal with? And I was able to design a tabletop that we got a lot of good feedback with. And we started looking at different things. So I am looking forward to continuing on for this year. I've been appointed for a couple of years. Yeah, I am open to any questions and thank you for taking the time.
Any questions for Chris?
I'll just take a quick
Sure.
second and thank Chris again for all his work and stability he's brought to the role. It's been great. Just internally as a note as well, we've been bringing Director Nick Larson up as our alt CEMC. Used to kind of sit with the clerk, but being his position is facilities, and it seems that majority of the work we have done has been kind of on the sheltering and warming center and things. It made a little bit of sense to have him kind of manage that because he's the keeper of the cots, so to speak. So just a note for council. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, last call. No questions for Chris? Kind of the guy that, you know, we hope we don't have to call him, but it's nice to have him around.
One street over.
One street over. Okay, I guess if there's no questions, thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate you coming. With your permission, we're going to, I guess we have a motion here to deal with. Yeah, recommendation. First of all, before we get any further, that the Council Municipality of West Perth receives the Emergency Management Program Update Report for information. We have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Feltz, Councillor Foster. Last call for questions. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That is carried. I'm going to jump with your permission. What item is it here, Dan? 6.9.1, if that's okay. It has to do with the Fullerton ballpark. And we do have a representative from Upper Thames here with us. So we thought if with your permission, we jump to that. And then he's free to leave if he wishes. So 6.9.1. So Dan, I think that's yours and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Council. So yeah, Brandon's here as well from Upper Thames, and essentially we've got a report before Council. I'll call it a bit of a housekeeping item, but for those that aren't aware, we do have a 99-year lease to a portion of the Fullerton Park with Upper Thames. It kind of covers the main ball diamond, but I think there's likely a small GIS shift, but I don't think that at the time that full diamond is on this land lease. And the history of the lease was outlined in the report. I believe it's coming off of a sorry, I'm just trying to remember the exact wording that I had in here, but 25-year, I think, grant program as well. Essentially, what we're just looking to do is really terminate the lease and enter into a memorandum of agreement, which is in line with what we have for all the rest of our lands with Upper Thames. The 99-year lease is quite dated, so bringing legal agreements into today's standard is really the goal here. Kind of the curveball maybe sitting in the room right now with the report is with the potential amalgamations of CAs. We are still working with Upper Thames Legal and our own legal on some additional language in here to protect this agreement if that merger does happen. And I would just make the caveat that if the amalgamation does happen, the lease probably wouldn't stay in existence anyways. There's about 10 years left on the lease. So as I said, we're just really housekeeping item. I think from the day-to-day standpoint or from the public standpoint, nothing will change. And if there's any questions, I can try and answer them. And Brandon's here as well. And he probably has a bit more history on the matter than I do, to be honest.
Okay, questions with regards to the Fullerton Ballpark? Councillor Vink, go ahead.
If I may, Mayor Mackenzie, so I thought I read that the lease started 1965 and then 99 years would put it at 2063. So that's still quite a few more years than 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a typo on that.
Okay. So then I was looking, as I was looking through the lease agreement, if we wanted to make capital improvements to the property, it seems like then if terminated any time or not renewed, then the likelihood that we would make capital improvements, I think is goes down a fair bit because we don't have the certainty of the 99-year lease that we do today. So that was maybe my only comment was that it's a little bit shorter sighting than if we wanted to make capital improvements to the property.
Yeah, and I think that it's a fair assessment for sure. The only thing I could really say at this point is we have a well-established partnership with Upper Thames. We have capital improvements across other lands, maybe not to this extent by any means, but on some of our Scheme 43 lands, we have other capital improvements as well. And if amalgamation happens, I guess that's the caveat that you could respond. And I don't have an answer because I don't know what that's going to look like. But I'm not sure that the lease would provide you the protection anyways if they were amalgamated, any more or less. So.
Any other questions? Councillor Foster?
How come the lease wasn't void when Fullerton Township was no longer in existence?
At that time, through amalgamation and I'll call them articles of incorporation, everything became the entities of West Perth. So even all the bylaws and everything, there was an automatic expiry period on certain bylaws and things, but it would have just rolled through. I don't know if that would happen with the CAs. I just don't know how they're going to go about that. So, but that's everything got rolled in, all agreements and everything to West Perth.
Anybody else? Brandon, do you have anything further to add? Reassurance or anything?
Through you, Mayor Mackenzie. I can't offer any reassurance about the amalgamation piece and about our lands or authority lands, where that sits. And there's I'll say, I don't know if there's concern, but there's discussion across the province with that, with municipalities across the province, as well as conservation authorities. What's going to happen to the land? Do they become part of that larger regional CA holdings? Does the provincial government take control over those lands? We just don't know. And I think probably The earliest time frame when we might have any inkling would be sort of later on this year, maybe in the fall, October, November is when I think there's supposed to be some information coming out, but again, that we're not 100% sure on that. We are in the middle of discussions with other municipalities as well with the same thing as Daniel alluded to, City of London as well, with a lot of our Scheme 43 lands going through the same sort of agreement process. And we're sort of business as usual right now. That's kind of how we're seeing it. If these lands remain within the Upper Thames, then they will remain with the regional CA. It may mean they're still owned by a conservation authority. It just may mean it could be a larger, more a conglomerate of conservation authorities. What that looks like 10, 20 years down the road, that's speculation really at this time. But this particular parcel here is a 99-year lease where the Upper Thames did own it. And we loaned it for 99 years to West Perth. At that time, it would have been Fullerton, I think, for 99 years as part of a centennial celebration. And then while we were going through the discussion for the management agreement for Fullerton CA, we thought that it would be just prudent to clean up these two leases into one and then remove this 99-year lease. And I mean, as far as the infrastructure piece, to build any infrastructure on Upper Thames land that is in agreement with the municipality to manage, it's simply an email or a letter saying, hey, we'd like to construct this washroom or this pathway or build a new ball diamond if it's permanent infrastructure. And then as long as it goes through the regulations portion of Upper Thames, then it's essentially we don't hold back. I mean, if it's a theme, if it's a Cedar Point kind of Canada's Wonderland theme park, we might have to have further discussions. But as far as these types of infrastructure, it's not an issue on our land going forward.
Hey, thank you. Any other questions? Well, go ahead,
If
Dan.
it's any consolation, as I said, we wanted to bring this to council. At this point, we're not, if council were to approve this, we're not signing anything tonight. We're happy to maybe report back on a final version if that helps, satisfies, or if council's ready to make a decision tonight, that's fine as well. But just wanted to let you know as I said, we're still working out some legalese on this.
I guess the only question that just thought of now, have we had any communications with the Fullerton Ballpark Group? What's going on? Not that it would probably make any difference, but it's just the ownership is changing a bit.
Not in regards to this. Technically ownership isn't changing.
No.
Where they wouldn't see a difference.
No,
There wouldn't
no,
be
it
a
should
difference.
be business
I don't
as
know if
usual.
they know we have a lease.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Councillor Ring.
There is some, I think, words in there about a levy for passive management. So the municipality would be responsible for all like the recreation capital, but the passive management, what does that mean?
I'm gonna try. You can come. So this is getting into that historical land rent aspect as well, where we outlined there that there was a land rent and that money used to come back to the municipality to help offset costs. With regulation changes that now we can just be levied passively. So we already are. Seeing as Brandon's at the microphone, I'll let him go more, but really trail maintenance and et cetera.
Yeah, through Mayor McKenzie, the traditional agreement was that West Perth undertook the majority of the management on these lands. That's everything from trails to waste collection, cutting grass, repairing the ball diamonds and things like that. And since 2022, when the Conservation Authorities Act was amended and the regulations were amended, they put these the new act and regulation assigned 3 categories to all of our lands. Category 1 being mandatory programs and services and mandatory management of those properties. So that included passive land management. In other words, rural conservation areas like this, where there's no entrance gate or ticket to get into the area. You can essentially use the area for free. So these are all Category 1 lands, and they would be subject to some sort of levy to the municipality for the management of those lands, seeing as a good majority of our funding, Conservation Authority funding, comes from the municipal levies. So whether that's a general levy for the entire watershed or a special benefiting levy for that municipality, that's something that would have to be determined, but they can be subject to those. So what we've done is reorganize a little bit of our staffing in our lands department so that we can now do some of the management out there. So the trail work, any type of the trail work, the risk management inspections on the trails, hazard tree risk inspections and management. And then the municipality would do, waste collection, cutting the grass, and then the ball diamond maintenance, essentially in repair. But we'd be responsible for all the other maintenance and risk management, the risk management to the picnic shelter out there and that kind of thing as well. So that's we're just trying to, instead of applying a levy for that work, we're taking some of that work back. So we take some of that off of the municipality, sort of work more in partnership. And then the things that we can do more in our sort of wheelhouse we're doing. And then, where the municipality has large equipment for mowing grass in the parks around here, it just kind of makes sense for that type of thing to stay with the municipality. So that's kind of what the agreement speaks to.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we do have a recommendation here. It is that the Council of the Municipality of West Perth authorize the mayor and clerk to sign and seal all necessary documents to formally terminate the historic 99-year lease arrangement between Upper Thames River Conservation Authority and the Municipality of West Perth for the Fullerton Conservation Area, and that the council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a new memorandum of license agreement with Upper Thames River Conservation Authority for the Fullerton Conservation Area. We have a mover and seconder for that, please. Councillor Phelps, Councillor O'Donnell. Any further questions? Okay. Question.
Mayor McKenzie, so the CAO mentioned that we mightn't be signing it tonight. So you'll tighten up some of the language around like start date when sometimes it refers to January 1st and sometimes it refers to on signing and that kind of stuff, and then sign it after that. Is that so? Some minor changes and then sign it, or?
Sorry, I don't think we're not signing it tonight. As we have it off on our own review, and as I understand from Brandon, they're still working on some fine tuning on potential protection for the amalgamation. So as I said, happy to bring it back if you want to see it, but we didn't want to keep going down this path if you're not supportive of this concept at all.
So I guess, we do have a resolution here. We can wait until further down the road, but I don't know whether there's any advantage to that. Councillor Harold?
Yeah, I don't think we want to be terminating until we're ready to sign the new one.
Fair point, James?
Through the chair, and we can bring the agreement back in the form of a bylaw so that you're giving direction to the CAO to proceed with continuing negotiations. And when that bylaw comes back, it would formally terminate the existing agreement and then concurrently bring in the new agreement.
We did have a motion on that, didn't we? We had a mover and seconder, didn't we?
Yeah, I was just going to add that at this, it's just authorizing you to do so. It's not so.
So we're okay to carry on? Okay, all right. So it's duly moved and seconded. So all those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried then. Thank you. Now, I gotta find my spot here again. Next item, I think, is 6.6.1 Community Services Fourth Quarter Activity Report. And we have Nick Larson coming up to give us the good word on that. So Nick, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Mayor McKenzie and members of council. Here to provide an update on the community services Q4 of 2025 for council's approval to sorry, I lost my spot here. Here to provide an update on the community services department for the fourth quarter of 2025 and to request council's approval for the transfer of a donation for an upcoming project. First of all, I'd like to start with some staff updates that have happened or will be happening here in the near future. I want to highlight our recreation administrative assistant position became vacant in November. We are pleased to welcome Taylor Ramsire, who joined the team on January 26th. Taylor has already joined the team as mentioned and is working out of the rec office if anyone wants to say hi. At the same time, we are preparing to say farewell to Christine Morrison, who is retiring on March 31st after nearly 39 years of dedicated service to the municipality. Christine has been a cornerstone of our municipality, maintaining parks and gardens to a high standard and contributing extensively to arena operations, including ice resurfacing. Her knowledge, professionalism, and dedication will be greatly missed, and we extend our sincere thanks for her outstanding career. In Q4, our recreational programs ran smoothly. Kids Club, Kids Corner, Youth Center programs, and adult recreation offerings continue to engage our residents of all ages. Facility rentals and remain steady, hosting service clubs, minor sports, private functions, and municipal programs. Ice sports and tournaments, including Ringette Day and minor hockey events, were highly successful, drawing positive feedback from participants and families. Looking ahead, we have two exciting projects planned for the Lions Park this summer. A kayak rental program generously donated by the Mitchell Rotary Club, and an accessible swing set donated by the Optimus Club of Mitchell. This will enhance existing play equipment and support inclusivity for all our residents. The donation request from the Optimus Club of Mitchell, as they donated $27,998 and change toward the accessible swing set project. We're looking for council's approval to transfer these funds to a recreation parks reserve so that they can be applied to the 26 capital project, PKS 0030. This ensures the donation is allocated properly and allows the project to move forward smoothly in the spring. In closing, to summarize Q4, we reflected strong programs, smooth operations, and valued community partnerships. We're excited about the upcoming projects, which will enhance accessibility and recreational opportunities throughout West Perth. Most importantly, we celebrate our staff transitions, welcoming Taylor and recognizing Christine's incredible service. So we request the council receive the Community Services Q4 activity report and approve the transfer of the Optimus Club donation to the Recreation and Parks Reserve for the accessible swing set project. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Questions for Nick on his report? I think we all echo your comments about Christine. Certainly been a cornerstone of our rec department and parks department for sure. So we certainly will miss her. Okay, if there is no questions, then the recommendation that I have here is that the Municipality of West Perth receives the Community Services 2025 fourth quarter activity report, and that council approved the transfer of the 2025 donation in the amount of $27,998.49 received from the Optimus Club of Mitchell on December the 18th, 2025 to the Recreation and Parks Reserve to be applied toward the 2026 project PKS 0030 for the installation of an accessibility swing set at the Lions Park. Moved by Councillor Harold, seconded by Councillor Duck. Any further questions on that? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thanks, Nick.
You.
The next one is yours as well, memorandum of understanding for the Dublin Community Center. So,
yeah. Before you, a report seeking council's approval for a 10-year extension of the memorandum of understanding with the Dublin Lions Club. The purpose of this agreement remains to continue the shared management, maintenance, and cost sharing of the Dublin Community Center. Since the last MOU, there have been a couple of minor changes. Liability coverage has been increased from 2 million to 5 million for functions where alcohol is not served, reflecting our updated municipal insurance and current best practices. The smoking section has been revised to align with the Smoke Free Ontario Act of 2017. There are no additional financial impacts and other changes to this agreement. No other major changes to this agreement. We recommend the council approve the 10-year MOU extension and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign all necessary documents. The extension ensures a continuation of a positive and cooperative relationship and partnership with the Dublin Lions Club, supporting operational stability and consistent services for the community. If you have any questions, I can take them now.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Any questions? Don't see any hands going up. So the recommendation that we have here then, and this arrangement I think has worked fairly well over the years.
Yeah, it's been a really good partnership since I've been here.
Yeah, I think so. So the recommendation is that the municipality of West Perth approve the 10-year Dublin Community Hall Memorandum of Understanding with the Dublin Lions Club, and that the council authorize the mayor and the clerk to sign and seal all necessary documents. We have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Vink, Councillor O'Donnell, all those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item then is with regards to Treasury, and we have Wendy here to talk about the excluded expenses from the 2026 municipal budget. Wendy, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Mackenzie, and good evening, council. I'll try that. Is that better? Okay. I'm not sure. So this report just is more of a compliance with a regulation 28409. Am I getting feedback? Yeah. So this is just more of an annual report that we bring forward, and in the act it says, because we budget on a cash basis, but some of our financials are based on accrual. And so that's why this report is before you. So we don't budget for amortization, but your amortization is about $5 million. So just disclosing that. The other section is your post-employment benefit expenses. We don't have those on the books. That would be putting money aside for WSIB, etc. And then the third one you do have, which is your solid waste landfill closure. And so based on last year, you're looking at roughly $35,000 in expenditures for post-closure. So if there's any questions on the report, I'd be happy to take them.
Okay, thanks, Wendy. Any questions for Wendy on her report there? Okay, if not, the recommendation that we have here is that the Council of Municipality of West Perth approve the following excluded expenses from the 2026 municipal budget as required by the Municipal Act 2001, Ontario Reg 284/09, amortization of tangible capital assets, future post-employment benefit expenses, and lastly, solid waste landfill closure and post-closure expenses. We have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Rose, Councillor Foster. Last call for questions. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. And the next one is a statement of remuneration and expenses.
So similar to the report before, this one is meeting the regulation 284 of the Municipal Act, and that's just disclosing council's remuneration for the year. Within the report, it lists each position, the remuneration, which also includes half and full day per diems. And then the other is just all encompassing for your Microsoft license for your emails, cell phone if you have one, and any travel and conferences that were attended to. And so some of the conferences that were attended last year were Municipal Day ROMA, which is Rural Ontario Municipal Association, Good Roads, and the Western Municipal Conference Aging Recreation Infrastructure Symposium. Also in this year's report, we've included the Perth County Detachment Board, and the costs are listed there, and we kind of split them in by 3. And so we took those costs and made a line item there. That's your $5,882. That's West Perth's portion of all of those costs divided by 3. And so your total cost for the detachment board was just a little over $8,000. If there's any questions on the report, I'd be glad to answer them.
Okay, questions? No questions. Okay. The recommendation that I have here then is the Council Municipality of West Perth receives the 2025 Statement of Remuneration and Expense Report for information. Have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Foster, Councillor Phelps. Last call for questions. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you. So the next item then is the municipal bylaw review and update. And throughout the year, we've had several signed bylaws come for adjustment, and this is supposed to maybe rectify some of that. So James, I'll let you explain.
Well, thank you, and through you, Mayor. Yeah, this report stems from a review of our existing sign bylaw, which dates back to 2010. So signage practices and technology and all of that sort of stuff has changed significantly over the past 16 years, especially around lighting, temporary signage, election signs, real estate signs. So our bylaw needed to be brought up to date for that. Intent here is really not to make too many significant changes to all the rules around signage, mostly meant to modernize and make the rules a little bit easier for everyone to understand. So the proposed bylaw has been fully reorganized and rewritten from what's in place. We group regulations now by zone and by sign type. I thought that was just a way in a design that would be easy and familiar for council staff and the public to understand. Definitions have been expanded, some clarity there, give us a little more consistency when we're interpreting things. Some strengthened provisions around sign illumination, because sign lighting can be an issue with new technology and that sort of thing. So we're just trying to avoid traffic hazards or negative impacts to adjacent properties. As alluded to by the mayor there, probably your important change is the CBO is given the authority to grant minor variances where appropriate to this bylaw. Previously, as you know, minor exceptions to this bylaw came as a full report to council and separate approval. It's pretty uncommon. Most municipalities have delegated this authority appropriately to their CBO. Ultimately, though, I think we have a bit more of a comprehensive bylaw here, so the need for those type of variances should drop out. You'll note a hard copy circulation I passed around to you. Just a couple small tweaks we made there since the publication of the agenda. So wanted to point those out in fairness to everyone. Probably the change of significance is increasing the base billboard size from 18.6 meters as proposed to 24 meters. That's based on some feedback from our CBO and some industry standards. So just gets in line. Some of the last requests that you saw for those exceptional circumstances were getting close to that 24 per side. So this just encompasses. So that number change is something I wanted to be transparent about the change of. And we strengthened some wording a little bit around profane and obscene content, just to give us the clearest authority we can here on that. So yeah, we're recommending approval of the bylaw, repeal our existing bylaw, and that's it. If there's any questions, happy to take them.
Questions for James on that? Okay, don't see any. Brings us up to date, I guess. All right, I do have a recommendation here then to deal with this. That the Council Municipality of West Perth repeal bylaw number 80, 2010, being a bylaw to regulate the erection of signs and other advertising devices. And that the council enact and pass bylaw 18, 2026, being a bylaw to regulate the erection of signs and other advertising devices in the municipality of West Perth as presented. We have a mover and seconder for that. Councillor Ryan. I'm going to ask Councillor Fournier if he wants to jump in here and second the motion.
I certainly would. Thank you very much. Yes, my hand is raised on the screen as
Very
you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Very much, man.
got to apologize when you're on a little black spot in the corner of the screen. I don't always see you or think of you, so I got you in here anyways. Any questions on that? All those in favor of that motion? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Okay, thank you. The next item then, item number 7.1 is correspondence from the Toronto Batman Men's Fastball or Fast Pitch Club. Who wants to run with this one? Anybody? We had the letter there for information. I don't know whether anybody needs to really, it's an annual one. We've dealt with it before. Go ahead.
Got nothing to add. I think you've said it all, Walter. You're Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. I'll read the motion, and if anybody has a question, you can put your hand up if you wish. So the recommendation is that the Council of the Municipality of West Perth declare the ISC qualifier tournament held by the Toronto Batman Men's Fast Pitch Club at Ketterson Park on June the 18th, 2028 from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., June the 19th from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., June the 20th, 2026 from 9:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. And on June the 21st, 2026 from 9:30 to 8 p.m. to be an event of municipal significance and or community significance, and advise the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario that it has no objections to it taking place, that the Toronto Batman Men's Fast Pitch, I want to call it fastball all the time, but Fast Pitch Club coordinates the provision of private security personnel after 6 p.m. on the scheduled event dates and secures additional washroom facilities for the event dates to the satisfaction of the community services staff for West Perth. We have a mover and second, moved by Councillor Duck. Oh, sure, go ahead.
Made that a little confusing. I should have asked before. I was just going to ask, and maybe it's for Director Larson instead. Are we going to have camping again this year? I believe it was this event we did the camping at last year. And I was curious with that, if that's the case, is the security staying through the night, or is it just going to be while the alcohol is being served? I believe somebody said there was a few issues last year throughout the night with the camping, and just want to make sure that's mitigated.
Nick or Dan? I'm not sure. I'm looking at Nick here. He's coming up.
As Nick comes up, I'll just flag there that we had a 2028 date thrown out, but it is 2026, just in case anyone's listening carefully.
Okay, Nick?
Through Mayor McKenzie, in regards to the security, they're scheduled from either like 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. or when they're done serving. In regards to staying for camping, I don't think we technically allow camping on site through those events, and those people may just be pulling up and staying without permission. So.
Yeah, I don't think, like, I was not quite sure where we were. I know a couple of years back, we had talked about the potential of having camping at Ketterson, and I don't think we ever fully went through with that. So that was just my only question. Thank you.
We did have a little bit, Doug, didn't we, at the homecoming, but not a lot even there, did we? Yeah.
Through you, Mayor McKenzie, it was approved camping at the 150, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Andrew's got his hand up. Go ahead, Andrew.
I just wanted to make a very small point. It's a bit odd to have a motion in correspondence, don't you think? Shouldn't this be in other minutes or in like bylaws to be passed? Is this a correspondence thing?
Through the chair, yes, we generally list these under correspondence just because the letter comes in via correspondence. To the councillor's point, I suppose you could list it under consent or another place as well, but generally I think we've listed under correspondence.
They have asked by correspondence, and all we're doing is giving them permission by a resolution to follow through. Counselor Duck again.
I just put my hand up to move it, sorry. I would move the motion if everyone else is good with that.
Okay, did I have a move for that? No, we didn't have, so, okay, so Counselor Duck will move it and Counselor Foster will second it. Okay, any further discussion on that? All right, all those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried. Okay, very good. The next one is just for information, Human Services and Justice Coordinating Committee Lunch and Learn on February the 26th. And that one, I read the information that's connected to the county or the city. Is it not? Sorry, go ahead.
It's in partnership with the Huron Perth Center Community Program. So it's a partnership program through that and the Justice Committee.
There's no questions or queries on that, then recommendation is that the municipality of West Perth accept the correspondence for information. Moved by Councillor Harold, seconded by Councillor Rose. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried. We do have three bylaws here. Bylaw 17 to amend bylaw 38, 2025 for drainage works on the Wall Robinson Municipal Drain. Bylaw 18 to repeal and replace bylaw 08, 2010 for the erection of signs that James just explained to us. And bylaw 19 is a bylaw to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Dublin Lions Club for the community center there. So the recommendation is that the Council of Municipality of West Perth give first and second reading to bylaw number 17, number 18, and number 19, the 17th day of February. So moved by Councillor Phelps, seconded by Councillor Chessel. Any questions on that? All those in favor? Opposed, if any, that's carried. And then finally, that Council of Municipality of West Perth give third and final reading to bylaw number 17, 18, and 19, the 17th day of February. Third and final reading, Councillor Rose, Councillor Harold. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, that is carried. Number of coming events. First one, I'll draw your attention to February the 18th. That meeting has gotten postponed because of pending weather and will be next Wednesday. I think it's the 25th at the same time and same place. The Optimus Club, I want to mention that because we already talked about them donating money for the swing set. So this is one of their main fundraisers of the year on February the 21st, which I believe is this Saturday night. It's their chicken and rib dinner at the community center. 5:30 is the start time, and I do believe there's still some tickets available if anybody wants to go. The rest of there, I think, are for your perusal. Most of them, or some of them, are annual meetings for the conservation authorities and that. The other one I maybe should mention is on the 25th, which is next Wednesday night as well, I believe, the election candidate information sessions. And there's one at the Pyramid Center in St. Mary's. And then the next one is the following week, is it, James? At Melbourne, I believe.
Through the chair, it's actually the following months. It's March 25th.
March,
So
okay.
easy to think of though, February 25th and March 25th. And both of those also offer a virtual offering as well.
Okay, very good. All right, I don't think there's any notice of motion. Any other business? We do not have a closed session that I'm aware of anyways. So the next item is the confirmatory bylaw. And bylaw number 20, 2026, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of West Perth be read a first and second time the 17th day of February. I'm a mover and second for that. Councillor Rose, Councillor O'Donnell. All those in favor? first and second reading. Thank you. And then bylaw number 20 to confirm the proceedings of council, third time and finally passed. Mover and seconder for that, Councillor Harold and Deputy Mayor Trinkowski. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, that is carried. And I should maybe back up, Dan reminded me in the, was it the Fullerton agreement? No, the Batman, the Ball Diamond rental of Catterson Part. I had a date in there. I said 2028 and it should be 2026. So I think I said 2026 twice and the third time I said 28. So just so that we have that straightened around. Okay, if there's nothing more, then final motion of the night then is that that Council Municipality of West Perth join the meeting at 8:06 p.m. Councillor Foster, Councillor, have I got everybody here tonight once at least? Okay, Councillor Phelps. Oh, Andrew. Yeah, where's Andrew? Is he gone? We got him once. Oh, there, he's got his hand up. Okay, good. We'll take Andrew as a seconder. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. Thank you.